Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, HollywoodShono here, about to give you another Injustice 2 video. In this video, we're talking about patch 1.7, which, much like patch 1.6, is an utter disappointment and proof that NetherRealm does not know how to fix problems when there are major issues within their game. So, where it all began, October marks the 25th anniversary of Mortal Kombat. To celebrate this momentous occasion, Injustice 2 will be adding a new challenge character, the God of Thunder himself, Raiden. But that's not all. Be sure to save those gems for a chance to unlock Raiden or Sub-Zero in the new Mortal Kombat chest. Sub-Zero meaning the same Sub-Zero that we've had, or a Sub-Zero that is brand new. Should be interesting to see on that. Chapter 4 of Story Mode has arrived. Take on the Society as the Flash and go head-to-head with Captain Cold, Reverse Flash, and more. Keep in mind, adding one chapter of the story every month is not very innovating. You should have just had the entire story in there. Climb to the top of the leaderboards to earn hero shards that unlock Multiverse Flash. Also, stay tuned for another new hero coming to the arena in the near future. Be sure to participate in both seasons when they go live. Now, one thing I'd like to point out about these arena seasons is that NetherRealm is trying to force you to play one of the most retarded game modes within the game that got absolutely destroyed in patch 1.6. Is this really a marketing ploy to get people to actually play your game? People are already really fed up with arena, and I don't think this is a time that you should be introducing new people into the arena, because Dark Supergirl, unlike the Mythic Wonder Woman season, was an absolute disaster and should have not even been done in that format. So for them to actually add 2 more arena seasons like this, because this is just retarded, Tyler Lansdowne. You fat, retarded son of a bitch. Get a fucking dentist job, by the way. Halloween celebration and new store items. Injustice 2 will be celebrating Halloween all month long. Complete daily objectives to earn Silver Scarecrow hero shards. Use gems to unlock new Halloween chests every week. Hint, I opened one on my Android account, and as you can see, 2 fucking SIM cards. And receive 1 free daily treat from the Halloween grab bag. Also, check out the new Gear Resources store item, which is an absolute piece of crap, which you guys seen in the previous video. Now, I was going to do just a separate Raiden challenge video. However, because of the lack of content within this update, we're simply going to be talking about the Raiden challenge, and you guys can see a screenshot of the stupid gear that should not even exist in the game. Full 3 difficulties of the Raiden challenge, which does require tech characters. Now, as you can see, I have 147 fragments out of 60. And the reason I have so many fragments is because I've done every refresh except the ones in the first battle and averaged about 60 fragments per refresh. So I wanted to make sure that because I was out of town yesterday, that I was showing off a 3-star Raiden and not a 2-star Raiden, which is very significant because it does show off the Special 3, which is the full character, and props to NetherRealm for actually making this a 2-star challenge. That way, those of you that are free to play can actually play with the card and not have to wait 3 weeks, assuming you can clear the 3rd battle in order to get the card, or if you can refresh the 2nd battle a couple times, you can still get the card even if you can't do the 3rd. Now, in this fight, the first battle, the opponents have 6,622 threat, and every card is level 10. Raiden is 2 stars, and the goons are 1 star. Why are these Harambe lookalikes not in the game? I think it'd be cool to have tribes and not just actual characters. Like, I wouldn't mind having the bodyguards that even Starfire has. I think it would just be a little bit more interesting. So obviously with over 200,000 threat, these fights are a joke, but rest assured, because Predator Batman is usable, I was able to do the 3rd difficulty on my Android account without any issues. So we only need 12 fragments to actually get the card. So unless we get the bare minimum plus 1 fragment, we'll actually guarantee a 3-star Raiden, at which point we will showcase the card.
Begin.
So to actually beat the 3rd battle on my iOS account took about 20-25 seconds on average. Not that bad. So we got 2 fragments in the first battle, 150 shards. We're guaranteed a 3-star Raiden, but we're going to do every fight. I have done a couple refreshes in the 2nd battle already, or in the 3rd battle. So here we have Catwoman, and we also have Dr. Fate. So I'll explain the character after we do the fight. Normally I do it at the beginning of the video, but I figured get the fragments to get the card 3 stars, which is normally how you would get the card.
Fear a god's wrath.
So we get power drain there, but it's not a big deal, because we can just gain power and get this back. So Catwoman gets annihilated. And we're just going to bomb Raiden and Dr. Fate, and there's the easy victory. So we only get 2 shards in the second battle. This is why I don't like fully refresh in the second difficulty, because 200 gems for 4 fragments, in my opinion, is not worth it. Just like outside of refresh in the first battle once, I don't feel it's worth 100 fragments for 2 fragments. Or 100 gems for 2 fragments. 50, maybe. If you're desperate. Like, if you're 59 out of 60, you definitely want to refresh the first battle if you can.
You will yield to Earthrealm.
For that, you'd have to be averaging less than 15 fragments per clear, and that's pretty bad. Not saying it's impossible, but if you're only getting 15 fragments to clear, and I think they have slightly nerfed the drop rates overall, but you could get lucky as Dr. Fate gets eliminated. So we're at 155 out of 60. You only need 100 fragments to take a card from 2 to 3 stars. Then you need 200 to go from 3 to 4 stars. So in the third matchup, we have a level 45 4-star Raiden, level 40 3-star Captain Cold, and level 40 3-star Sub-Zero. 54,384 threat. Alright, so our energy has refreshed, and now we can go. In the third battle, it's pretty much just straightforward. Again, you kind of want to just build up power. Because we have the hazard bonus with Arkham Knight Batman, we can also pretty much just one-shot bomb out Raiden if we don't fail on the initial bomb. So that's going to do a little bit of damage and power drain the remaining power that we have in sucks. I'm still waiting for them to actually address the tag-out issue, because I really think it's an issue that is a big deal within the game. And it does hinder certain characters with 8-second tag-ins or more
Quit screwing around.
from actually being able to perform their full potential. So Captain Cold is going to get eliminated. And we are 1 fragment short of actually getting Raiden, so we're going to have to do this second battle and recharge. So again, you kind of want to just cycle power, take advantage of the 4-second tag-ins. Predator Batman's just going to annihilate Raiden, and this is on the 3rd difficulty. My Predator Batman is so strong that nothing can touch him, and Arkham Knight Batman is going to clean up. That's an easy victory in 20 seconds. So there's our 163 fragments out of 60. So we're guaranteed at least a 3-star Raiden unless we get an offer either for promoting the card or for getting X0 in level. So we're going to take a look at Raiden really quick before we upgrade him to 3-star. So at battle start, the God of Thunder and Protector of Earthrealm grants his team additional power per arcane class. Hint, 2 of the best arcane classes in the game, Emerald Green Lantern and Dr. Fate, are usable. In addition, Raiden's Elder Shock ability deals variable amounts of damage to tagged out opponents, while his Divine Blast ability power drains. So the fact that it does damage to tagged out opponents is rather interesting. And there you can see right there, Elder Shock ability jumps to tagged out opponents. First jump deals 53, second 107. And that is a little bit less than the full damage, and 0.8 starting power per arcane team member. So we're going to unlock Raiden first off. So that gives us 103 out of 100 shards, 10,000 credits to upgrade to 3 stars. Normally, on a 3-star character, it would be out of 160. But for new players, I'm actually not upset about this. I hope that they continue this trend in the future. as this is definitely one of the positive things for challenges. So Raiden is now officially a 3-star, and the Elder Shock does a whopping 190 damage. So it looks like the Elder Shock is going to be weaker than the Divine Blast, which power drains. So I don't know if the area damage equates to that. So in my opinion, avoid the Elder Shock. I think it's a piece of crap. So we're going to upgrade the passive, and starting power goes up 0.1 per. And I guess that's fair considering that Emerald Green Lantern can also trigger a power generation. So starting the match at anything more than like 5 bars of power is just ridiculous. So it does increase the jump by 47. And yep, it's a straight 47. So we're going to upgrade that. So at 3 bars, it is now +1 starting power, and it is a 47 increase as well. So 165 and 237. And the Elder Shock still does 190 damage. So let's apply all of the XP capsules that we have. Or at least let's get them to level 10. I believe we got a bunch of garbage capsules, so let's just use them. Alright, so there's level 10.
Raiden.
So we did not get an actual offer for 4 stars. Now let's take Raiden's gear up to level 5. Could even go higher than that. Let's actually take the gear to level 10. Crit resist. Fuck you, Netherrealm. Alright, so let's re-roll the crit resist. Anything would be better. Crit chance, I'll take the low roll. So now let's take the Raiden armor, and let's do the same thing. We do need at least 200 fragments to actually take gears to level 5, so we have to make sure we save 600. So at 2 out of 5, you get 10% power generation, which is really big. Then you get 5% attack and 10% health. So we get stun resistance. Fuck you, Netherrealm. I'll take crit damage because that's actually a good roll. Actually, it's a bad roll. Alright, so that's the last gear item we can take to level 10. And we're at 860 shards. So we'll upgrade these last 3 gear items to level 5 just to get gear properties. And hopefully we don't have to reroll all 3 gear items off of stun resist, crit resist, lethal chance. But we'll see. So we get 20 attack, I'll take that. It's not a good roll, but it's better than nothing. I don't understand why it takes 5 years to equip a gear item. So we're going to upgrade Raiden's boots up to level 5 as well. And we get stun resist. Fuck you, Netherrealm. We get crit resistance. Fuck you again. There we go. 4% defense. We finally got a good roll. And now we're going to take the Raiden waistband. So now he's going to have 5,599 threat, which is not that great. Jesus Christ, these talents suck. I swear, every time I reroll, I get trolled. Alright, so we are at a whopping 40 gear shards, and we're at 5,820 threat. Let's actually apply some more capsules. Let's do one more. That is a little bit too high. Actually, it's level 19. Take that off. Let's go to about level 18. So 7,483 threat, which is definitely bottom of the barrel. So we're going to go into Arena. And we are going to throw in Raiden. Green Lantern is assigned to Operation. So we're going to throw in Dr. Fate, and we're going to throw in Emerald Green Lantern. 2 of the best offenders for this fight. And you can see, even with those, we have 90,371 threat. Now, I don't suspect Raiden to do that well in these fights. And let's fight Quackster Vu. So right away, let's see how much power we start. Could be 2 bars.
Begin.
3 bars. That's pretty insane.
I will
So right away,
banish
you can
to the
use a
nether
special.
realm.
And that power drains. So that's a special one. Let's start cycling some power. Look at that power from that generation.
The elder gods frown upon you.
So it's a flat damage that you get, and it looked like it was 1100 and 700, so that's decent, especially for a low-level Raiden.
You face the true god of thunder.
That's a pretty good power drain there. We forgot to upgrade abilities, we forgot to take talents as well, so obviously the power drain gets better as you level it up.
You made yourself an easy target.
That's a
I
stun
am
as well.
Raiden, god of thunder.
So Raiden goes down.
This chaos ends
And Blade Master Robin is down. Marksman Deathshot is in. No chance of him winning this fight. So yeah, even with low threat, Raiden held up pretty good, and at level 18 did decent damage. Alright, so now let's do a fight in the campaign. So let's go to Battle 4 with Atlantean Armor Aquaman. Now obviously this is way overkill. So let's take Emerald Green Lantern. Actually, let's throw in some other... let's throw in Dr. Fate. Let's throw in Soul Stealer Dr. Fate so we can also heal up Raiden if necessary. So we're going to have double Dr. Fates. Obviously, we won't have the massive power generation. So the opponent has 34,348. They're going up against a level 54 Landing Armor Aquaman, 55 3-star Green Lantern, and an Tangling Poison Ivy from the looks of it.
Begin.
3 bars, so it looks like it counts Raiden himself for power as well. That's a nice combo, too. It reminds me of Atlantean Armor Aquaman. It's about a 10-hit combo. That Mortal Kombat logo looks badass. It wasn't enough to get rid of Green Lantern. Can we power drain? Nope.
Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Down goes Raiden.
of Anubis.
Don't mess with Mother Nature.
The Ark protects me.
I don't know why it says ability disabled and it still works.
Meet your fate. Ark of Anubis.
Aquaman gets eliminated. So yeah, being able to start with an extra 3 bars of power is a big deal. And even if you only have one other magic class, like for example Emerald Green Lantern or Dr. Fate, starting at 2 bars is a big deal. And obviously with Dr. Fate, if you have 2 magic classes in there, which Emerald Green Lantern and Dr. Fate are really good by themselves anyways, buffing Raiden with that is really good. So really quick, let's take a look at the available magic characters. And you can see there are 6 altogether, including Raiden. So it's good to see another magic character in this update. Also, Sub-Zero is also from the magic class. So if they do introduce another Sub-Zero, you can actually run a Mortal Kombat team.
Okay, but first, I got a couple things to talk about. We have questions, as we usually do. Now, we didn't answer as many questions as we would have liked, because we have a lot to talk about today.
And another thing I'd like to talk about is tag-in balancing. You guys saw that I just did a video on the tag-in mechanics. There are 3 characters, actually 4 that I can think of, that really need a global tag-in cooldown. This means if you're using any one of these characters on the team, it's not cumulative, so if you use all 3, you're not going to have 36-second tag-ins. But I think if you're running Predator Batman on your team, if you're running Emerald Green Lantern on your team, if you're running Dr. Fate on your team, or if you're running Atlantean Armor Aquaman, those 4 characters should give 12-second tagouts for the entire team. It doesn't matter how you set up your roster. If you have Predator Batman with anybody on your team, you have a 12-second global tag and cooldown for your entire team. I think that would help balance the cards out a little bit more, because let's face it, all 4 of those cards are completely busted and overpowered. Now, Silver Aquaman I think should be at 8 seconds because his passive is not as game-breaking as being able to heal for the entire team. Mythic Wonder Woman I think is fine at an 8-second cooldown because of her chop slide armor piercing, and you can't cycle power as quickly. Flora Poison Ivy I also feel is acceptable with an 8-second tag-in because of her Vine Drill also giving armor piercing. As you can see, even at level 1, it does a lot of damage. So if we upgrade it up, you're talking another 3,000 damage. That's pretty insane. And then if it crits, your Vine Drill is going to hit for over 20,000. I think Flora Poison Ivy needs to stay at an 8-second cooldown. Now, one person that I think should go to an 8-second cooldown is Captain Cold. A couple of reasons for that is Team Critical Attack Resistance is a very powerful passive by itself, and it's kind of funny that it takes 50% for the skill not to be garbage, but in the case of Captain Cold, that's exactly what it takes. Now, the other side of his passive is when Captain Cold is the active combatant, he has a 100% chance to disable one of the opponent's abilities, 1 or 2. If you've ever gone up against Captain Cold, you can see just how strong this ability is, and I think Captain Cold should have an 8-second cooldown when tagging in. Now, Soul Stealer Dr. Fate does have a 4-second cooldown on tagging, but I feel that because of his Break of Life ability being really strong, as well as his Reversal of Fate, in order to not cycle tag quite as much, I think that Dr. Fate should have an 8-second cooldown on Soul Stealer. Now, as far as Dark Supergirl goes, I think that if Predator Batman and Emerald Green Lantern have a global 12-second cooldown, I think I would be okay with an 8-second cooldown on Dark Supergirl. But as long as Emerald Green Lantern and Predator Batman have 4-second tag-ins, why on earth would you use Dark Supergirl? My analysis with Dark Supergirl is you're running Emerald Green Lantern, you're running Predator Batman, which is the best setup. Why would you even tag in Dark Supergirl? I think that if you make it so Dark Supergirl costs less time than Predator Batman, obviously you wouldn't be running Predator Batman, but I think that Dark Supergirl would be a lot more useful, and yes, the whole 100% damage and crit chance for 7 seconds is cool, but why not just tag in Predator Batman, use armor piercing, and obliterate the opponent, or use the stun bombs? It just makes absolutely no sense. Now, one character I think that should also be increased to 8 seconds, in my personal opinion, is Powered Supergirl. Powered Supergirl is a really good card because of the chance to make your walking laser absolutely free. So I think that because of this mechanic, and walking laser does not get mitigated by defense. So you're talking at higher levels, a walking laser that can probably do upwards of 10,000-15,000 damage on an application without any sort of crit damage modification. Yeah, Powered Supergirl needs an 8-second cooldown on tagging. That's just my opinion. The card is good enough. Now, another card that I think does warrant an 8-second cooldown, and this might offend a lot of you guys, Speed Force the Flash. Now, while I'm not a pro with unhittable while attacking with Rush and Evade, you also have to figure that he has the fastest man alive, which has up to a 69% chance to stun. And you can just ignore the Dust Kick. Fist of Fury you can use, and if you need to knock somebody out, I've used it in the Energized Starfire Challenge, and I think that would be a welcome change. And you also get 30% Team Fast Attack chance, so I think this warrants an 8-second cooldown on the Flash. I know that's going to piss some people off, but it is what it is. Now, Ace Green Arrow currently has an 8-second cooldown, and my question to that is why? Why does he have an 8-second cooldown when Power Lock Arrow power locks the current opponent for 6 seconds? Yes, this happens when you tag out, but you have to wait 8 seconds for that to happen. So you can't have any cool interaction in the current phase with Predator Batman. You can't synergize it with Black Canary because Black Canary also has an 8-second tag out, and that would just make this ability stupid because already you can just tag out and rinse this effect out. Now, with the global changes to Dr. Fate, Electric Arrow doesn't seem as overpowered, and it's not as overpowered as Aquaman's basically unblockable reach across the entire map and power drain your face off. Electric Arrow can be blocked, and it will not power drain when it blocks. So I feel that Ace Green Arrow should have a 4-second cooldown. Also, in the 4-second cooldown list should be Amazon Wonder Woman, because the card doesn't do anything. Like, what does it do other than give you health? Why does it have an 8-second cooldown? This is totally unacceptable and crap. Another character that I have no idea why it has an 8-second cooldown is Batman vs. Superman. Why? The card has nothing about it that warrants overpowered and busted. Yes, you get attack from Batman's and health from a Wonder Woman, but if you're running Batman, why are you using Superman other than the super block, the chops block, or Flora Poison Ivy's armor piercing, or even the first 2 hits of Batman's stun bomb? Why are you using BVS Superman with Batman? 4-second cooldown all the way. And Black Canary in both forms, for some unknown god-awful reason, has an 8-second tag-in. And this cripples Green Arrow or even Enter Synergy, because both cards are actually pretty slow. Green Arrow is not a fast card. Black Canary is one of the slowest cards in the game, except for Swamp Thing, which is absolutely crap that is at 8 seconds as well. And Energized Starfire. Why is Energized Starfire an 8-second tag-in on cooldown? When the opponent spends power, Starfire regenerates health per bar of power. On Starfire's super move, she releases energy, healing her team for a percentage of health. I get that the Tamarian charge is damage and damage over time, but there's nothing that warrants overpowered about this card. Why is it an 8-second tag-in? This card needs to be 4 seconds. And Entangling Poison Ivy. While I totally get that Flora Poison Ivy warrants the 8-second tag-in, why does Entangling Poison Ivy have an 8-second tag-in? There is nothing about the card. The Bed of Thorns is just like Catwoman and better than Cyborg's Power Drain Hazard. You can avoid this pretty easily. It's not like Atlantean Armor Aquaman where it's actually pretty difficult to avoid it, but there's nothing that warrants an 8-second tag-in. I've already talked about Ace Green Arrow. Green Arrow does not need an 8-second cooldown. Last Laugh the Joker does not need an 8-second cooldown. The Laughing Gas can be jumped to avoid it. Same thing like with the Teeth. So I don't understand why you need an 8-second cooldown on Last Laugh the Joker. I get that his passive is really strong. It synergizes with Sub-Zero clones, which the AI never uses when you go up against it. So unless you're cloning with Dr. Fate, which would then warrant a 12-second global cooldown, why does Last Laugh the Joker have an 8-second cooldown? I don't get that. Suicide Squad Harley Quinn also has an 8-second cooldown, and in my opinion is one of the worst implemented cards in the game. Unlike Silver Harley Quinn, you don't have multi-hit special 2 and 3. Handstand Kick and To Die For are just boring generic specials. And yeah, yes, this card does gain attack from the Joker, and it has synergy with Deadshot, and it even has synergy running multiple Harley Quinns. But Unhinged Harley Quinn is not a game changer, and I think the best Harley Quinn is actually Silver Harley Quinn. Why does this card have an 8-second tag-in cooldown? It needs to be 4. And finally, Swamp Thing. Why does the slowest card in the game and the worst silver card in the game have an 8-second tag-in? So you can see that he does heal up double the damage as far as health goes, and this does get pretty crazy. If you have Dr. Fate on your team, yes, you can heal a ridiculous amount, but you also have to have gear on Swamp Thing to make it work. Does it warrant an 8-second tag-in? This one maybe. Primal Swamp Thing, absolutely not. This Swamp Thing, I could probably see actually getting an 8-second cooldown, but the card is never used anyway, so why punish people for playing Swamp Thing? Now, so if you like this video on the Raiden challenge unlocking the 3-star variant, please give this video a like rating, comment, subscribe, share this video amongst your friends, and as a favorite, check out my other Injustice 2 videos playlist, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, which are all HollywoodShono, and have a wonderful day, kids.
www.youtube.com/HollywoodShono. Subscribe, bitches!